Hello? Hello? Hello. Alright, that should work. Maybe a little bit lower. Something like that. Then my arms, maybe a little bit higher. Hello? 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 Alright, there we go. There we go. That should work. Can this turn? It can. Lovely. That was right up to my face. What else do I need? I need a capture. This one. Video capture, window capture, Windows capture. Add. Is that it? Is that it? I think so, right? I think so. And then, how do I? Alright, so this, I'm guessing this is my little screen. Alright, so properties, Windows. Oh my god, this is so. Scene 1, scene 2. So where's scene 1? Alright, I need to get this figured out. Scene 1 is here. Scene 2 is here. Let me just go on YouTube. YouTube, Twitch, Kick also. See if I'm even streaming. Channel. What's happening? Channel. Oh shit, I am on. I am streaming. Oh cool. Shit, I am on. I am streaming. Cool. Shit, I am on. Let's see how can I customize this. How can I? Let's see how can I customize this. How can I? Let's see how can I customize this. Edit panel is edit panel. Has to be edit panel. No customize channel. No customize channel. Create a dashboard. Create a dashboard. So I put that there. Now my face is covered. Now my face is covered. I should. Now my face is covered. Okay, let's see. Move up. No, move up. Settings. Why am I been doing this when I can just go on YouTube and find out how to do this? I'm wasting my time. How to do this? Stream. Let's see, 4 minutes. Let's do that. Let's see, 4 minutes. Let's do that.
Let's show you how to go live on Twitch in under 5 minutes. Today you'll learn what software to use, what settings, how to capture 5 minutes. And OBS. what settings. Download OBS from the link in the description and install it. Once it's installed, open it and you'll be met with this blank box and these blank panels. It looks confusing, but don't worry, it's not. On the left is scenes, the middle are sources, and the right will display your audio. We'll come back to this in a second, so keep going to your right and click settings. Go to the streaming tab, go to service, go to drop down, and a webcam. Right click the scene and rename it to game. Now go down to your sources and click this plus here. You'll see 3 ways to capture your game. First is game capture. If you add that and then open it, it lets you either automatically capture games or pick a specific window to capture. Some games won't work with game capture, and in that case you'll use either desktop capture, which the name is quite obvious, it captures your entire desktop, so be careful not to show any private documents when using this, and then windowed capture. This is capturing a specific window, same as game capture, but it does any window you want. Once you've picked your capture type and you've captured a game, the source will appear in the source list. Now click the plus again, click video capture device, and select your webcam. You can adjust the webcam settings here. I have a full video, that's right, in the description if you want to make yours look better. If you click the webcam, you can drag it to be smaller and fit it off to the side. Full video, that's right. Click video capture device and select your webcam. You can adjust the webcam settings here, plus again, click video capture device and select your webcam. You can adjust the webcam settings here. I have a full video, that's right, in the description if you want to make yours look better. If you click the webcam, you can drag it to be smaller and fit it off to the side of the screen like this, or hold Alt.
How do you do that?
Or hold Alt.
Why is his?
Drag and crop in the edges. From there, the webcam you can drag. You can adjust and capture, but it does any window you want. Once you've picked your capture type and you've captured a game, the source.
Microsoft capture mode automatic.
You want. Once you've picked your capture type and you've captured a game,
And why is this? Why is the quality so shit? Also, why am I at 10? Why am I 480p? I'm already blind now.
source will appear in the source list. Now click the plus again, click video capture device and select your webcam. You can adjust the webcam settings here. I have a full video, that's right, in the description if you want to make yours look better. If you want to make yours look better.
It's because of this.
It to game. Now go down to your sources and click this plus. Add your game capture or desktop capture near the top where it's yellow, and desktop should sit around -32. This bar will lower the volume of your desktop sound or your mic. Aim for your mic to be around -12 near the top where it's yellow, and desktop should sit around -32. Now let's add your game capture or desktop capture and a webcam. Right click the scene and rename it to game. Now go down.
Okay, let's rename that to this. I definitely spelled that wrong.
Down to your sources and click this plus here. Here, you'll see 3 ways to capture your game. First is game capture. If you add that and then open it, it lets you either automatically capture game.
Display capture. Okay.
Games or pick a specific window to capture. Some games won't work with game capture, and in that case, case you'll use either desktop capture, which the name is quite obvious, it captures your entire desktop, so be careful not to show any private documents when using this, and then
Okay.
windowed capture. This is capturing a specific window, same as game capture, but it does any window you want. Once you've
Window capture.
picked your capture type and you've captured a game, the source will appear in the source list. Now click the plus again and click video capture device and select your webcam. You can adjust the webcam settings here. I have a full video, that's right, in the description if you want to make yours look better. If you click the webcam, you can drag it to be smaller and fit it off to the side of the screen.
Okay. Maybe I should remove this first. Remove window capture. Video capture. Oh my god, I did it. Oh shit. Ah, stupid shit like this, man. I swear to God.
Screen like this, or hold Alt to drag and crop in the edges. From there, you can click start streaming and you'll go live connected to the Twitch account that we set up earlier. That said, I strongly encourage you to go to your Twitch channel, go to the top right, click on channel, click on dashboard, edit stream info, and set yourself a title.
Stream manager title. Alright. Stream manager title. Oh shit, I got one viewer. What's up, my man? Title stream channel, yeah. Okay, stream. What is it? I'm good, my man. I'm good. Just testing this stuff out. Where is it here?
Stream info and set yourself a title that is engaging for your viewers. Edit stream info and set
Stream manager. Stream manager. Stream manager. Where is stream manager? Create a dashboard. So much settings, so much. Channels. Oh my, there's so much distractions. I don't even know how I'm gonna get any work done. Jesus.
Set yourself a title that is engaging for your viewers. Set your category as what game, click on dashboard, edit stream info, and set yourself a title that is engaging for your viewers.
Stream. You from Prime. What is this? Alright. Go here. Channel. Okay, I'm live here, that's for sure. How do I... Create a dashboard. Stream manager. Stream info. Is it like a rerun? Damn, we can do that. Rerun if there is no. Oh, that's what he was. That's what he meant. Okay, so is that changed? All right, that's changed. Cool, cool, cool. Notification begins complete, whatever that means. Now, exit that, exit that, exit that.
Set your category as what game you'll be playing, set some tags, language, and you'll want to practice writing go lives to get clicks. Then click done and we'll click start streaming. Since I still have time to spare, I will say if you want a big fancy overlay like this.
Nope. Come on. Any day now. To change.
How to change stream title on Kick. Hello guys and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I will be teaching you how you will be able to change your stream. Tap to click on your profile over here. This is our profile on the top right. And you're simply going to click on Creator Dashboard. After that, you will
actually didn't try to do the rollback. Don't beat on it too hard, I don't want to get.
What's it on here? Is
to
this?
be redirected to this dashboard over here. As you can see, we are currently selected on stream. So make sure you are selecting this. And after that, you're going to have to open your channel tool. To be able to access your channel tools, you're going to have to click this icon over here, and there we go. Then you
Channel tools. Huh?
icon over here, and there we go. The tool. To be able to access your stream, so make sure you are selecting this. And after that, you're going to have to open your channel tool.
What?
To be able to access your channel tools, you're going to have to click this icon over here, and there we go. Then you're simply going to click on Edit Stream Info.
Streaming for why is this not working? I've been doing this for 20 minutes. Oh my
And as
god.
you can see, you have your title.
For 20 minutes? Okay, I need to focus. I need to log in. I need to log in. I need to log in. Okay, so close that. Now I think one more thing I need to do.
let's quickly add multi-stream chat, such as what's on screen now, to our live stream on either OBS or Streamlabs. We'll do this using Caster Labs, and it's linked in the description, and it works for all major streaming platforms. That of course includes Twitch, Kick, TikTok and YouTube. So start on Caster. Start on casterlabs.co, once again linked in the description. Download for Windows and just run through the installer, accepting all of the default options. Once you're in Caster Labs, click onto Settings and click on Accounts.
What happened? No. How do I? What does my display look like? Okay, so my display is like in half. Maybe. So my display is like this. Okay. All right. That's gonna do it.
Start on casterlabs.co, once again linked in the description. Download for Windows and just run through the installer, accepting all of the default options. Once you're in Caster Labs, click onto Settings and click on Accounts, and as you can see, I've linked all my relevant accounts.
Right. that a good sign then, if you blocked it? Security. Why is it blocked? Okay. That should do it, right? I feel smart. I feel totally smart.
So you should go through and do the same. Once all accounts are linked, let's click on widgets and alerts, and you'll see in the bottom left is a plus button. We're going to hover over interaction and click on chat. And at the top, I'm just going to rename it. I've renamed mine to multi-stream chat. And now this is where you configure all of your different multi-stream chat options. For example, I'm going to show the platform icon. So you go ahead and modify that page according to your wishes. You can also modify the text style. I'm going to up the font size a little bit, something like that. And you can also modify the events page. Once you're happy, we can either click this copy link button in the top right. corner, or we can press go back, click the three dots, and copy the link from here. Let's very quickly add our Caster Labs multi-stream chat now to both OBS and Streamlabs. Inside OBS, click the plus button, click on browser, up next Stream 9 multi stream chat. I'll press OK. Before I paste in, I'm going to shut down source when not visible, and then paste the URL into the box here. You then might have to fiddle with the width and the height. I'll go 600 by 600, I'll press OK, and you can just click on the multi-stream chat and drag it into place. And by the way,
Where is it? Oh, nice. Where should I put it? Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Let's see if it works. Oh, sick. That's pretty cool. Noise channel. Why can't I type? Oh, it's up here. Up here. All right. There we go. All right, everything's working. How am I supposed to see though? I mean, that was the whole point, so I can see. How can I make it that I can see? That's my question. Now I can enable this now. Because this is going to stay only in here. I don't need this anymore.
Are you a one monitor streamer that doesn't want to use their assets? We'll click on that. Twitch chat over your game while you're live streaming so you can easily read chat with one monitor. This will work for OBS Studio or literally any streaming software of your choice. First thing we need to do is grab this free transparent Twitch chat overlay, which I'll leave linked in the description down below, and we'll scroll down until we can see download the latest release from here. So
Can't I just, oops. Can I just grab this and pull? No, I can't do that. Can't do that, that's for sure. I'm getting distracted. No, let's focus. Let's focus.
we'll click that. We'll find the latest version available, which at the time of this video is 0.92. Now we can
You're trying to multi-stream, but it's so hard keeping up with all chats. Your TikTok is there, or on your phone, your YouTube is there, your Twitch is there, you can't keep up. There's this website that actually displays everything in just one web browser, so you can look over all your chats in one go. I'll leave the link down below in the description for you to easily find. So
She
this is the
definitely likes
website, and what
Pokemon.
we need to do to connect is actually really simple. I'm just gonna reject the cookies here real quick. We're gonna go to this edit button here, and then here we can say our username for Twitch is gonna be Tree, because that's my username. Our TikTok username is Tree on Twitch. I'm not using Kick, so I'm just gonna disable that one. It will go away. For YouTube, it's slightly different because we need our YouTube Live URL. This is because every live stream on YouTube has a different URL. So you need to reset that every time, sadly, because you can't do that automatically. That's just the way YouTube works. So I'm going to my creator dashboard. This is my gameplay channel. We're gonna go to create and click on go live. This is the live studio. So what we need to do is we actually go into the live studio right here and hover over the stream that you actually want to get the chat from. Then click on option and get shareable link. And now we can just paste that link in here and click on save. It could be that it still says something is wrong, because if you're not live, the chat is not live, so it doesn't really exist. It's gonna start existing as soon as you go live on YouTube. I find that YouTube chat is kind
This makes no sense. How to...
Hey streamers, if you multi-stream and your chat windows look like this, you are doing it wrong. Instead of having a window for each chat, just combine them into one. All you have to do is log into each platform and then click the chat window on the right hand side to be able to read every single chat all in one spot. Hey streamers, if you multi-stream and your chat windows look like this, you are doing it wrong. Instead of having a window for each chat, just combine them into one. All you have to do is log into each platform and then click the chat window on the right-hand side to be able to read every single chat.
Am I doing something wrong? Wait, is that it? Did I do it? Okay, nice. Cool, 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 cool. All right, it's definitely working. So viewers list, activity feed, stream chat. Okay. Mm. What? Is there a way to make this smaller though? enough messing around. Wait a second. Why can't...
In this video, I'll be showing you how to adjust OBS screen size. First, you may be referring to the preview size. To increase the preview, simply move your cursor so it's above a panel and it will change. Click and drag the panel to make the preview size larger. If this doesn't work, then right-click on the preview and go to Preview Scaling, then select Scale to Window. Next, you can adjust the size of a source or image. Select the source you want to resize. Click and hold on one of the corners or side points, then drag to size. By default, the size of the source will maintain its aspect ratio. You can change this by holding Shift while dragging. You can quickly undo unwanted changes by pressing Ctrl-Z or Command-Z on a Mac. Additionally, you can crop the screen size by dragging in a point while holding Alt. If you're unable to make any adjustments, then right-click on the source, go to Transform, and select Reset Transform. Additionally, you can fine-tune screen size by going to Transform and selecting Edit Transform. Here, you can adjust your source size, rotation, and crop pixel by pixel. Close when done. You will now be able to adjust screen size in OBS.
There we go. Now how does it, you know? My mind is so foggy, oh my lord. That looks so stretched. screw it. Just stop being distracted and just do some fucking work. Literally.
After I said in my last video that AI does 90% of my coding, you made it clear you wanted me to make a video showing you my AI workflow. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Chris. I build productivity apps. I have 4 productivity apps that I work on, and they're pretty robust apps. And the reason I mention that is because anytime someone finds out that I'm the one behind these apps, they always ask, how is this possible? So there's a couple reasons, but the main reason is because I use AI to supercharge my workflow. I'm not exaggerating. If I had to estimate, I think I'm outputting 10 times more than I did a few years ago before I started using AI. So there are 2 pretty extreme opinions of AI right now. Some people say it's going to replace all developers, no one should learn how to code anymore, and then a lot of people say it just spits out garbage, it's not worth using. And after using AI for coding for almost 2 years, building 4 productivity apps, I can confidently say that the truth is somewhere in the middle. If you're on the fence about using AI for coding, this video is for you. Maybe you've tried GitHub Copilot in the past and you were pretty underwhelmed, or you've heard so much conflicting stuff that you don't even want to start. I get it, I was skeptical too, but after a lot of iteration and exploring a bunch of tools, I finally found the workflow that works for me. And now I think AI writes like 90% of my code. If you checked out my last video, you know I built the prototype of Lily, my new meeting assistant tool, in about a week. I'm not exaggerating, I think the same prototype would have taken me 1 to 2 months to build if I wasn't using AI. So this is a really big difference. I'm pretty bullish on using these tools, so hopefully this video convinces you to try it out, or if you've done it in the past and it wasn't for you, maybe try again. So I actually did develop a more methodical approach to developing features, and it involves 4 steps. And for some reason I found that when I follow these 4 steps, there's less errors and there's less mess for me to clean up. So at a high level, the 4 steps are: I build the UI first with dummy data, so it's not hooked up to anything. Once the UI is done and I'm happy with it, then I have the AI build out the data structures and the backend. Once I'm happy with that and everything looks good, then I have the AI connect both of them. Then I go in and do more cleanup, polishing, more advanced interactions, animations, all at the very end. So those are the 4 steps. Let me run through why it works and some examples. So the first step, I have the AI build all the UI with dummy data. The reason I do this is it gives the AI less to think about. When it doesn't have to think about the backend, doesn't have to think of the data structure, it can just focus on getting the UI correct. I have found that it executes it a lot better than trying to do all of it at once. So for Lily, the meeting assistant app, I gave it this prompt. It's a very basic prompt. I didn't give it any complex styling. I just want the UI to work. But doing it this way has a lot of benefits because I can quickly see it on the screen, figure out, okay, is this what I really want? Make any adjustments if I need it. And more importantly, it gives the AI a better picture of what data structures and data models are needed to work with this UI. And that's step number 2. Once you have the UI, get it to create the data structure in the backend. So in this case, I'm using Supabase. So I told it, based on the UI we've built, create a data model for the meetings, a transcript, messages and generate the SQL commands I need to set this up in Supabase. Cursor already has access to my entire code base, so it knows what the screens look like, it knows what a meeting is, and it actually returned the complete data models in Swift, gave me the schema with all the relationships and the SQL commands that I needed to run with Supabase, and it actually all worked the first time, which I was a little surprised by because this is a pretty massive project already, but I was able to just copy the SQL commands, paste them into Supabase, obviously double check them before I ran them, but it did work, and it set it up perfectly. It saved me, I don't even know how many hours. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is let's connect everything. I didn't do this step all at once because I was worried it wasn't going to be able to get it in one go, so I went feature by feature. So I said, for example, update the meeting list view to fetch real meetings from Supabase instead of dummy data, and add any loading states and error handling. And because it already had the front end code and it already had the back end and the schema, this part was actually really, really easy. And the last phase is just to polish and iterate on the UI. So this is where I add a bunch of complex interactions and I make a bunch of changes. And my tip is to keep it small. I try to cap my changes at 2 or 3 changes. So for example, I would probably tell it something like, can you make the corner radius larger, add a light shadow, and make it a font that looks like a typewriter? So that's about 3 requests right there. I found the less you ask it, the higher chance it has of actually executing it. I just do this over and over again until I'm happy with the UI. And this phase usually takes a lot of time, but honestly not that bad with AI. So those are the 4 steps I usually take for most features. It's UI, data, hook it up, and then polish. I got my tool, now you got my steps. Let's talk about prompting. Do I have any advice on how to get good at prompting?
Alright, let me. This is just turning the way. Let's put this up here.
Prompting is the most important thing. I mean, it is how we communicate with the AI, so it is very important. Here's my prompting framework that I built up over the years. So the first is to be hyper specific as possible. You can think of the AI as a really, really good junior engineer who is prone to misinterpreting things. So the more specific you are, the less room there is for misinterpretation. So here's an example of a bad prompt. It's very vague, very open-ended. I can see 1,000 ways the AI can write this. Here's a more specific prompt that's still the same thing. But as you can see, there's less room for interpretation. The second thing I do is I provide a lot of visual context. You probably know you can feed in images into ChatGPT and Claude, but you can actually do the same thing in Cursor. So one thing I'm constantly doing is I'm screenshotting example UIs and error messages, and I'm just feeding it directly into Cursor. So when I was working on Lily's UI, I would try to find examples I really like. I would screenshot it, I would drag it into Cursor and say, hey, can you implement something that looks like this? It's not gonna get it right the first time, but at least it's a very good starting point, and it's enough for me to start working and iterating on. And the same thing goes for errors. Anytime I get an error, I screenshot the error, feed it into Cursor, and I usually just say, hey, I'm getting this error, can you fix it? And if you do this a couple times, it usually is smart enough to resolve the error. This alone has saved me countless hours of debugging. So visual context is another important thing. So the third part of my prompting framework is to not try to do too much in the prompt and to be willing to iterate. A lot of people get it. Impatient. They try to feed in a ton of instructions to the AI in one go, but what I found is it's better to get something really basic and then plan on iterating. So instead of trying to say, I want you to build this thing and you specify 50 things it needs to do, just get the basics done, maybe 2 or 3 things in the first prompt, and then be prepared to break this up into multiple prompts. Let's talk about the limits of AI. One limitation I've noticed is that it can sometimes go down rabbit holes or go down in circles and get lost, especially when you're trying to do something complex. So something I'm always on the lookout for is it going in a loop? Is it kind of making the same
That's very true.
mistakes over and over again. And this awesome feature Cursor has is the ability to restore to a specific checkpoint. So you can go anywhere in the chat and there's a button to restore from this checkpoint, and you're basically starting from that point forward, and it has no context of whatever you asked it before. And I use this feature all the time. Anytime I get a sense it's going in circles or I might have approached this wrong, I click restore and then I try another approach. So a second issue is that it likes to hallucinate API sometimes. I've especially noticed this when developing iOS apps. It really likes to make things up from the Apple documentation that doesn't exist. A way to combat this is Cursor has this awesome feature where you can actually import documentation. So for the meeting app, I fed it in the DeepGram documentation, and just by feeding it in, now it has access to all the endpoints, it understands it, and it's able to use that API way more effectively. Same thing with the Apple documentation. I am regularly feeding in the Apple documentations into Cursor, and it has been amazing for reducing those hallucinations. My third point is, even though AI will get it wrong sometime, I think it's great to just push your luck and see if it's able to do it. One example where I pushed my luck, tried it, and I was completely blown away that I got it the first try was when I was working on the meeting notes generator for Lily. So I wanted a feature where users can click a button and it'll generate notes from a meeting based on the transcript. But another thing I wanted too was in the chat functionality, when you ask it, can you generate meeting notes for me, it would also do the same, and it would show a button inline in the chat. I asked it in one go to build out the entire functionality for this, like the section where it'll generate the notes, the button, and the chat with the inline message. And it actually got it in one go. I was so convinced it wasn't going to work, but I was just curious, and it actually did it. So even though there's limits, I think it's cool to just try your luck and see. So lastly, here's some things that people want me to cover just based on questions I've gotten. So what model do I use? Right now, for most coding things, including web and Swift, I'm using Claude 3.7. I've noticed 3.7 is slightly better than 3.5. It is a little bit more prone to going off the rails. I feel like the output's marginally better than 3.5, and I trust myself to stop it from going off the rails if I noticed it, so I don't mind using 3.7. I do turn on deep thinking, and I've noticed I've gotten better results there. I've tried a bunch of the models, including the new Gemini, but this is the one I'm getting the most results with. Question number 2 is, are there any other Cursor tips you have? What settings do you use? To be honest, I really don't think I'm using Cursor that well. I don't use Cursor rules. I don't use MCP. It's not because they're not good. I just really haven't had time to try it out or really learn it. For now, I'm just using the autocomplete in Cursor, and I'm using agent mode most of the time, and it has been working pretty well. I'm really not doing anything fancy. Oh, but one tip that I do have is to use workspaces. I'm probably the last person to discover this, and everyone already knows this, but you can actually open up multiple repos in the same Cursor workspace. And when you do that and use the chat and the agent, it has context of all the repos. This is amazing if you're working with a front end and a back end, because now that means the agent knows what the back end looks like when you make changes to the front end. So that was a really powerful thing that I've discovered, and it really helps with full stack development. If you guys have any tips on how to use Cursor, or you know any other tools that are better, please comment below. I'm honestly trying to get better at this stuff myself, so I'd love to hear what you guys are doing. So I've been using AI tooling for about 2 years now. I started using GitHub Copilot when it first launched in technical preview. I was able to get my hands on it and start using it, and it was super impressive at the time, even though it was basically just a fancy autocomplete. That was enough for me, to be honest. So a lot of people used it to autocomplete their code, but the way that I was using it at the time was I would write comments of what I wanted it to do and then have it write out whatever functions or classes that I needed. So I would write something like create a function that uses the DeepGram API to pull in audio and transcribe it in real time. And when I commented this out, it would just spit the code out for me. This was super basic, but it already increased my output about 20%. Then I switched to ChatGPT and stopped using GitHub Copilot once ChatGPT got really good at coding. And I realized it was just faster for me to, instead of writing comments, just chat with it directly and say, here's my code, can you go make this change? And at the time, GitHub Copilot did not have the chat features. Because this workflow was a little bit better, and I found that the code quality was the same, but I liked this workflow a little bit better than writing the comments, I switched over to ChatGPT. Then I switched over to Claude because they released a model that I noticed was a lot better at Swift. And then I discovered Cursor, and I started using that because I got really sick of pasting code files between Claude and between my IDE. So having Cursor was amazing because it's built into the IDE, it understood the code base, and I can just chat with it directly. So I started using this for web, but I couldn't use it for Swift projects, so I still continue to use Claude for anything Swift related. Finally, when I figured out a couple weeks ago that you can actually just open an Xcode project in Cursor, go make all the changes, and then switch back to Xcode, build it, see the errors, and do everything you need to do, that's what I've been doing most recently. It is a little bit cumbersome to switch between Xcode and Cursor, but the efficiency I get totally outweighs that inconvenience. So that's what I've been doing right now. And so that's where I'm at today. I've used a couple tools. I've also tried things like Windsurf, but overall I found the code quality with Cursor is marginally better. So I'm sticking with that for now until something changes. I want to address 2 questions that I often get asked. How good is AI really at coding? I've heard a lot of people say, oh, it just spits out garbage, or it keeps going in circles, and then use it, you will get mediocre results. And to be honest, if you give it to a professional, they know how to use it. If you give it to someone who just shoots on their iPhone and doesn't understand things like aperture and shutter speed, they're gonna take pictures, it's gonna look exactly like their iPhone pictures, and they're gonna say, why did I just spend $8,000 on this camera? It's not worth it at all. However, the professional would disagree with you because they know how to use it, they know how to get a lot more out of it. So for them, the $8,000 is worth it. And AI is the same way. If you don't take the time to really understand how to use it, you will get mediocre results. And to be honest, it's probably gonna be faster for you to just code by hand. However, if you do take the time to understand how to use it and effectively put it in your workflow, I guarantee you will at least 3x your output as a developer. So going back back to the question of how good it is, that does not mean that it is perfect. I would say that I'm pretty good at using this stuff and prompting, and it gets me about 90% of the way there. And then the last 10% is something that I need to usually intervene, prompt a lot, or manually write the code myself. And I'm not going to downplay it. That 10% can take a very long time. I was working on this complex drag animation for my app Lily, where you can resize the panels of the app. After a couple of prompts, it technically got this thing working, so after about like 5 minutes. However, it took another 12 hours of work for me to get that last 12% to make it feel just right. So for example, when a user flicks and it shoots up to the top of the screen, it seems really simple, but it actually took a lot of out-of-the-box thinking, math, and iteration. And the AI was struggling to get that one on its own. I had to really prompt it 100 times and try out a bunch of different things to get that right. And I know I'm not alone in this, and I feel like other developers feel the same way, that that last 10% takes so much time. Is it even worth using AI at all? And I think the answer is still yes. I'm still substantially faster coding with it than without it. And that brings up the second question: do I need to know how to code to use these tools effectively? So my honest answer is it depends on what you're building, it depends on the complexity, but on the whole, yeah, I do think you need to know how to code to use these tools effectively, and the better you are at coding, the more powerful these tools are for you. If it's a super simple app with no database and it's just like a to-do list app or a workout app just for yourself, then sure, you might be able to get away building this with very minimal knowledge or no knowledge at all. But if you're trying to build something complex, I strongly advise that you know how to code before using these tools. So I'll share a quick story of why I say that. So my brother is currently building an app. He has absolutely no idea how to code, so I pointed him at this tool called Lovable. Lovable is an AI tool where you can build prototypes. You can basically ask it, hey, build me this to-do list app, and it will spit out a to-do list app. So he was using it. He was able to build a UI so quickly for his app, and everything was going really well until he hooked up the database. And that's where things started going wrong very quickly. At some point, the AI changed the schema of the database in Supabase, but the front end didn't change to handle that, and it started crashing. He started seeing all of these type mismatch errors. As someone with coding experience, I see this error and I'm like, oh, okay, this is easy. It just means that the schema and the database in the front end are not matching. We need to just change one of them. But he doesn't have coding experience, so when he saw that, he started freaking out and asking it, hey, can you fix this? Can you fix this? Can you fix this? And it kept going in circles until at some point Lovable decided to wipe the database and rebuild the schema. I was honestly shocked when I saw that, but that got me thinking, okay, number one, thank God this is not in production, and number two, this can get really dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have coding experience, and you're building a complex app like this. So after seeing stuff like this over and over again, my position is it is really advisable that if you build something complex, especially with production data and users, I really think you should learn to code or make some coding friends before using these AI coding tools. Hope that you guys found this video helpful. I really encourage you, if you're a developer, to try to use some of these AI toolings. I've seen way too many developers try it out, they get some really bad response, and then they just kind of dismiss it and say, okay, this thing is worthless, or they have one bad experience where it's going in circles and they're like,
all right, that's enough. We are back at it. Let's finish this project. Let's finish this. Okay. Oops. Let's see where we left off. Okay, so let's go to Figma. Should I just restart my whole project? Fuck it. Fuck it, let's just do a new project. Let's just scrap this away because why not? Okay, my question is how do I exit? Oh, okay, that's a few. Great, alright. Carissa. never thought about the layout though for. Time to get my phone. Quickest way to find ideas is just open a popular app. Literally. Okay, so navigation will be on the bottom. I want you to home task tracking leaderboards. Home task tracking leaderboards and a more task tracking leaderboards profile. So this is in the layout. This is my first time using Eskimo, so I'm not sure, oh crap, where everything is supposed to go. But return tab. So this will be, yeah, so this is the navigation. And where is this nested? Layout.txe. That means there's a text. No, wait. That means there's TypeScript, right? TXE.
Here's how to run TypeScript files without having to transpile to JavaScript first. Sometimes you might want to build or test a quick app just using TypeScript, but if you try and run it with Node, it's going to error out because Node only understands JavaScript. And this is where the TSX command comes into play. On screen, I have a very simple application that defines a type of task, contains a list of tasks, and then for each one of those, logs out the name of the task along with its completion status.
Okay, it's definitely there. It's not bad, to be honest. Exactly what I had in mind. Just a lot to change, that's all. Keep. So this is in a what task. But this really should be in the components. Then again, I need to just let AI do its thing. It's a bit triggering, but then again, layout tabs. So this is different. No, layout is that. Apps, tabs. Alright, keep all. Let's just do that. Keep all. Yeah. Accept. Okay, I mean, it's not bad. this is what I have more in mind though. So, snip. I really need to focus on my English. This doesn't make sense. Course, first error code, lovely. Love to see it, huh? It's so messy. Literally so messy. What's the error though? There's no scroll view, is that why? Themed view, where's themed view? I mean, I think that's the reason. Has to be. Wait, what happened? If I fix this, I'm a genius. Maybe not. Maybe not at all. Definitely did something though. Looks like I'm missing brackets. Where do these brackets even come from? Themed view, scrolled view. Using full view. Themed view. That's a one-liner. Okay. Getting an error. Grass bar component. Missing map function. Where's the map function? What was the fix? Move the progress bar inside the main container. The progress bar is not properly main container, so it wasn't in the main container? Is that what he was saying? This is the main container. So what's this? Leaderboard list. Oh, so this is the leaderboard list avatar user info. Right. And what's this? Like the whole and themed view. That means it's the whole container of that? Is that what it means? Themed view. Looks like it. So the themed view is the container, the outside container of all the little components within it. And then scroll view would be the outer, like a fragment of sorts. Of course, there's a header there, so if we go here, leaderboards, right? There's a header. That's definitely not what this looks like. Oh my lord! But yeah, that's definitely not what that looks like. Might as well just go back to the other one, to be honest. But it definitely tried. Definitely tried. I need to fix the progress bar. But we can do that later. Actually, we should do that now. Because if we can't even get this right, I think that's the most important thing. Is it really important? So yeah, scroll view and then the header will be this. And then the themed view. So yeah. Because in leaderboards, right? And then I complete with others to climb the rankings. Okay. So Statistics. Emojis. And once again, I will give her the, or him or her, whatever. Did they get it? Probably not. There we go. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of a push, you know what I mean? Look at that. Better. Obviously the progress bar is a little bit messed up still, but it's trying its best. And the animation again is on point also. Just definitely the styling is a bit too unorganized. Unorganized. My mind is so unfocused. Great. I think you didn't give space for each user to serve for the emojis, and that it looks very cramped and unorganized. Could you make sure there's enough space between each? Between each user stats, so they are on their own line. I mean, that's better, but then again, this is something. You know what? Why? Okay. Let's That's much better. Let's see how they doing this. I definitely think after reading, like making this, just going over the code afterwards will be so cumbersome. But that is an excuse. All right, I'll sit here if that's the case for however long it needs just to get everything right, and that looks freaking horrible. Damn, that looks ridiculous. But then again, like I gave a very bad prompts, and this is just like, what is this shit? This does not look like Facebook, Reddit, Twitter. This does not look like that home feed at all. Definitely needs to change. So I think what I will do is do the same thing. Copy over my Figma UI Something like this. And hold on. And send it over. Save as. Even better, I'll just go on Reddit, whatever, and then just use that image. But then again, it literally is the same thing, so I'll just copy mine. My one's, yeah, I'll just copy mine. Actually, you know what? Let's see what they'll give me for Reddits. I'm curious. New. Or I could just copy one and just say, hey, use make sure it's like that. Social post container. Alright, go here, add image. Oh, there we go. So it was fixed. But we'll send it again because it's way too big, you know. It's like just. Sure. That's not bad. And the task. How would we like to do the task? Should I go with the Eisenhower matrix like I have here? But I want it to be really simple. I want it so that it's one task, like just one task that shows up. Like looking at this, there's just so much things to do. Like, yes, you know, if you have like just one task to do, how can we do that? Just showing one task. Shit. What I do? Come on, I just took so long to write that. What did I actually do? I want to show. Cheap playing council. I'm good, my man. Appreciate it though. Linting errors. it's definitely gym time, so this is gonna be the last component. Visible. Visible. do later. I gotta go to the gym. So, yeah. Gonna end this stream